guys, Stitching May here to do an update video. And guys, after 8 years, yep, it's been 8 years, my Flosstube anniversary was April the 6th. 8 years, and still starting a video is always so awkward for me. I have like so many false starts. They're like 30-second videos where I start the video, say something weird, and have to restart. So 8 years, and that's still awkward starting a video. Anyway, I cannot believe I've been making Flosstube videos for 8 years. Guys, to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and listening to me ramble and be awkward. I can't tell you how much this is. I believe that Flosstube has helped keep my hobby going. There are times that I continue to stitch because I get to see you guys, what you guys are stitching, and you enable me more, and to see your love of your stitching makes me excited. And I've made real life, true best friends through Flosstube, and I'm just very appreciative to the community. And I want to thank you guys, my viewers, who come back year after year and listen to me ramble. If you're new to my channel, thank you for clicking on my video. There are tons of Flosstubes now. Feel free, if you enjoy what you see, to subscribe. I try to come back every week. It usually doesn't happen. It's been almost 8 weeks since my last video. Yeah, March the 4th to April the 23rd. Sorry. Generally, I'm here at least every 2 weeks. This time was a little scattered. I'll get to that in a minute. My video is mostly about cross stitch. Sometimes I throw life in there, just little things that are pertinent to my hobby. And if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. Please comment. I enjoy the comments. I love interacting with you guys. That's what makes this fun. So, anyway, I can explain my absence. It's nothing big, just a bunch of fun little things. We are all healthy and well, and things have been great. Things in our community, in my community, our numbers are going in the right direction. Work is evening out for me. I don't want to curse this and say it's going great or anything, but you know, it's warmer weather, so we've been able to do more outside things. Since the last video, we've had 2 birthdays. My husband and I both had a birthday. Then we had a vacation. We had Easter. We had 2 weeks of storms. Then we had last week when I was going to video, I had planned to do my video on Friday. Instead, we decided to go to the park because the weather was beautiful. A bunch of us got together and went to the park and let the kids play outside. It was a first play date and I don't know how long, or a big play date and I don't know how long. Just a bunch of good things. My Flosstube, my hobby, fits around my life. So sometimes my videos kind of fit around my life as well. But I'm here. I have a lot to show you. I had 2 new starts. One of those I kind of became obsessed with, and it became kind of a monogamous stitch, and that's another reason why the video was delayed, because I was like, well, I don't have anything to show them. I've only been stitching on this one project. It's going to be a 2-minute video. And then all of a sudden it exploded. Like, I was being really good, and I wasn't hauling stuff. Now I have a lot of haul. I have some stitchy kindness to show you. Just all kind of stuff. So since my last video, I do have 2 new starts. I know that I said that this was going to be the year that I worked on whips, but I had planned on at least, I think, 3 starts, which is where I'm at now. One of them, so I think I'll end up, so far, I think I'll end up having like 4, maybe 5 starts this year. That's my plan wasn't to not have any new starts. It was to have starts in moderation, unlike last year where if I saw it, I started it. 2 of them were definitely planned. One of them I knew that I would eventually start something for this. It's a birth sampler. I didn't know what it would be or when I would start it, but I knew I would. And then I think I'm possibly got 1 more start next. Later on this year. So we'll see. But right now I'm at 3 starts for the year and 2 finishes. So that's good. So right after my last video, I had just started the pandemic sampler. It's been one hell of a year, Sal, with Emily C. It was a freebie chart through Sarcy Girl on Instagram. However, she did ask that you make a donation to a charity for the chart, so, which I did. And, oh, there's my card. here is what it will look like when it's finished. Here is and also where I was the last time I did a video. This is stitched on 36 count tarnished silver by Lakeside Linens. It is 36 count and I'm stitching it in the called for DMC 2/2. I do like the 2/2 on 36 count. This is where I currently am. I only did 173 extra stitches since my last video on this, or video. Let's try that again. I've done 173 stitches on this project since my last video. I actually have numbers for you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I sat down right before this and crunched them, but I've been keeping up with my stitches as I go with each project. The next thing that I worked on, and I'm trying to kind of put these up as I go. See if I don't know what I do with that bag. Where'd that bag go? Losing my mind. Because if I don't, I'll have a whole heap of stuff everywhere. There it is. I'm keeping this in a beautiful dragonfly bag that I got from Belinda as a birthday gift. This was made by Stitchnbutton. I'll link to her shop below. I don't know where the needle miter came from. I'm not really sure. The next thing was the project that I knew that I would start a birth sampler this year. My sister-in-law is expecting. She is due really any time now. After her baby shower, she and I discussed what pattern she would like me to stitch, if she would like me to stitch something, because I don't want to spend the time on something if somebody's not going to enjoy it. She had actually been looking at them and had kind of picked one out, so I went with what she had picked out. It is, I'm calling it Adventure Awaits. I don't know the true name of it. I have it on Pattern Keeper because it is kind of a full coverage. I'll insert a picture here. It's by Stitch's Lover Shop. Yes, on Etsy. I'll link to the chop and the pattern below. So this was a new start, and since I started it on March the 8th, I have stitched, are you guys ready? 3,751 stitches on this one. Here is where I am. I have finished the entire adventure part and awaits, and I'm down into the bear. Guys, this is the one, I started this on March the 8th, and it's the only project I worked on from March the 8th until March the 16th, but that was henna, and that was just in the car during piano lessons. Like, I didn't really stitch on henna. It was in the car. That's my in the car project. Continue to stitch on adventure until, again, not counting start car stitching, April the 5th. So March the 8th through April the 5th, this is the only project that I worked on other than in the car stitching on henna mandala during my son's piano lessons. Guys, I ended up getting Pattern Keeper because of this project, because this bear, as you can see in the, mock-up, is very much so full coverage. I'm not a big full coverage stitcher, but you do things for family that you don't do for other people. And Pattern Keeper has made this so enjoyable and it's made it a fun stitch. I even went back and contacted the company that made my Starry Night to see if they had them in PDF, because they were kind of on Etsy and they did not. And I really wish they did, because I really think if I could get Starry Night on Pattern Keeper that I would be able to finish it. I'm having so much fun stitching this. It's actually got me thinking about possibly starting a Heaven and Earth design that I've had for a while in PDF form, that I got when I first started stitching and was afraid and intimidated by it. Started Starry Night and then realized I didn't like full coverage, and it's just kind of been sitting in my stash. It's actually an out of print Heaven and Earth design now. If things continue to go the way they're going with this one, I may actually start a Heaven and Earth design at some point. Shh, don't scare it. You'll scare. Don't mention it. You'll scare it away. But there that is. This will be the birth sampler for my nephew. My sister-in-law understands that this will not be ready until his first birthday. So I will have, he's not even here yet. So I have at least a year to finish this. This is actually what I'm stitching on tonight when I get to do this video. So my goal right now, I've broken it down, is to stitch like 200 stitches a week. I've already done more than 200 stitches this week. But my goal is every week to put 200 stitches in this piece. That way I can continue to get it done on time. And if I can do 200 stitches a week, that even gets me ahead of his year birthday. That'll leave me time to get it framed and that kind of thing. Plus I'm stitching so far, knock on wood, Belinda, Aussie Stitcher. She was like, yeah, you're going to stitch this for a while. You're going to put it down and then you won't pick it back up. I think that spurned me. And just to spite her, I'm doing this. She needs to be my whip manager more often. Tell me I'm not going to do something just where my stubborn self will do it. Just to prove her wrong. So, like I said, I stitched a total of 3,751 stitches on that. Kind of the next project, like I said, is Henna Mandala. This is the one I keep in my car. I stitch on it when we are waiting outside of my son's piano lessons, because we don't go in for his piano lessons. Only he goes in. And, this is stitched on a piece of, I think it's 14 count Ada. It may be 16 count. I think it's 14 count. I'm stitching it 3/1 on this Ada. I hand dyed this Ada myself. It was one that I was joking around with when I was kind of getting brave trying to dye my own fabric. Oh, the other one's just stitched on 18 count white Ada, 2/1. This is what henna will look like when it's completed. This is what it looked like as well the last time that I showed it to you. This is stitched in, I'm doing this with this as a sow with Casey from Southern California Stitchers and Emily C. I think some other people joined in as well. It's stitched, like I said, on the Ada in the colorway DMC 4135, which is the same one Emily's using. I love this color. It's just one of their variegated flosses. It's got browns, very autumnal. It kind of reminds me of what I think henna, you know, those kind of brownish tattoos are. Is it tattoos? I don't know. And like I said, I dyed this fabric myself. It has a needle in it. It stayed on the hoop. I break so many rules with this piece. This is where I currently am. Since the last time this was shown to you guys, why is my camera not? There it goes, focusing. I have stitched 391 stitches on this piece since my last video. Usually every time I pick this up, I have to frog at least 4 stitches. At least. Every time. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm in the car talking to my husband when I stitch and I end up finding little, I get off on spots, that kind of thing. But it, I still love it. I love the colors. I love ink circles. Even frogging can't make me hate ink circles. I say that, watch I'll mess up and have to like completely restart and then hate them. But generally, I love that it's one color. It's easy in the car. I carry my little pattern with me and mark it off as I go. It's a great car stitch. This is in a bag that was gifted to me by my friend Kelly. No clue where it came from. She gave it to me for an early birthday present. The next thing that I picked up after I broke the monogamous stitching of Adventure Awaits is Let's Be Kind. I picked this up when we were going on vacation. I stitched on it in the car on the way to vacation. When I stitched on vacation, it's what I stitched on. I think I did like 365 vacation stitches. I got home, realized how close I was to a finish, powered through and got a finish. It is a freebie from Modern Folk Embroidery. It's called Let's Be Kind. I'll insert a picture of the mock-up here. I actually stitched this in a color called Goblin by Color and Cotton. It's a very variegated thread that is blue and green. I keep putting down my cards, forgetting where it is. Guys, this is so customized. Do not base their pattern off my stitching. If you kind of like it but think it looks a little off, go look at the actual pattern, because I've had to customize it some. I ended up with a total of 698 stitches in this since my last video. I'm not going to show you where the mess ups are because I don't do that. If you can see it, you can see it. But this is it. This is finished. My husband will be framing it. He said he can make it, he can fix my customizations by his framing. He says that my customizations and his customizations and framing will make it even out. There that is. I love this pattern, guys. It was a fun stitch despite my not being able to count when you do counted cross stitch. And then the last thing that I worked on, it's not the last things I've worked on Adventure Awaits since then, but kind of the last thing I worked on was a new start. It was one that I knew that I was going to start this year. I've had this pattern for so long in my stash. I was very intimidated by it when I first got it because it used specialty fibers, etc., etc. I finally decided this was the year. It is a design by My Big Toe. It is called Quaker Samplers, right? Quaker Seasons. So, when I initially got this, the hand-dyed or over-dyed flosses intimidated me. And then I was going to do it in DMC, but then I would have to convert it, and that intimidated me. So it sat in my bag for the longest, and now I finally went ahead and got the over-dyed floss and decided to start it. This is kind of a memory piece for my aunt and my mother, and technically my uncle. The Bible verse, Ecclesiastes, is where this comes from, which was read at my mom's funeral and my aunt's funeral. It says, "To everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under heaven." So I finally started this. I'm stitching this. So the funny story about this piece is that I had worked to kit up the floss, and then finally on vacation went to buy fabric in order to stitch this. I was in the store. I called my husband and my son in, and I had 3 pieces of fabric and said, okay, which one do you think I should stitch this on? This is the rest of the floss. My son picked out the fabric. And then when I got home, I looked and realized that it was the called for fabric. I didn't know I had picked it, and it was the one he picked out. Granted, this one I think is stitched on 28 count, and I'm stitching it on 36 count. It's just 36 count antique ivory Edinburgh linen. Nothing special, nothing, you know. And it's stitched in the called for colors. And guys, I've jumped on the Floss Drops bandwagon that my sister's making some lunch in there. I don't know if you can hear the microwave beeping and everything clicking and clacking in there. But I've jumped on the Thread Drops bandwagon. So I've made these myself. I'll get more into that later. I have them on this beautiful ring that Emily C. gifted me. See my little dragonfly? This is not my piece. I have stitched this piece, but this is just the mock-up. She made this for me. Come on, focus on the dragonfly, not on my nose. And I jumped on the Thread Drops bandwagon, and I'm addicted. But that's the colorway. Look at these colors. I'm not great at the cutting of the flosses yet. I do have a thread winder coming from Stitchnbutton showed them in her video. She was actually doing, I think, I want to say a giveaway of one at one point. But you can order them on Instagram. I think there's also a Facebook group that you can order them on. I will send a link. I'll put a link to the floss winder once I get mine. I've ordered it. Once I get my floss winder and can show it to you, I'll link it below to that store. That way I can even these out. But that's the colorway of this project. And this is my meager start. A whole 89 stitches. stitch the first little half. And not gonna lie, I grabbed the wrong green, but I'm just making it work. It looks like a variation, and I'm just gonna kind of add it on in and be done with it. 89 stitches on this start. Once I put down Adventure Awaits, I think I'm going to pull this one, pick this one back up and keep stitching on this. I think this is another one that I can become very obsessed with. And that is an angel needle minder. I'm not sure where I got it from, but I figured that was very appropriate with it being for my aunt and my mom. So that's it for whips. The rest of the video is going to be haul and stitchy kindness. So that my video won't cut off halfway through, I'm going to go ahead and stop now and then start back. Okay, so now that I know my camera won't cut me off halfway through, so since my last video, I forgot to mention, I've done a total of 5,102 stitches. So that's pretty good for a almost 2-month stretch, right? Kind of, maybe-ish. So, now, into the part of the video that's haul and stitchy kindness. Guys, if you don't enjoy that kind of stuff, I'm finished with my whips. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy haul and stitchy kindness, get ready because there's a lot of it. So, first of all, let me show you. This isn't stitchy kindness, but it was a birthday gift. These earrings, I'm going to take one off to show it to you, were from the lovely, overly generous Ellen Reed. Look how pretty they are. See them? They are vintage beads and very sentimental, and I love them. Love, love, love them. Like, this even calls me to clean out my jewelry box to where I could put keep them in a safe spot. Got that, and got tons of birthday stuff. What else? Let's see here. My friend Kelly did a stash dive. She's going through her stash. She's kind of consolidating it down, and she has stuff. She was like, I know this stuff is something that you would stitch, so she set it to the side for me. And guys, she's spoiled. She's like, it's going to be your birthday present. I'm like, hey, I'm fine with that. So there is this 8 This one is called Special Christmas Tree 2012. And then she gave me a ton of these traditional sampler kits. Some of them are charts only, and some of them are actual kits. This one is called Red Roof Sampler. And then there is the Friendship Sampler. It is a dear friend. It is a dear thing, friendship, a sweet balm, a fast, elusive bird of calm that flutters over life's tumultuous ocean. Ugh, I've never been able to say that word. This is the 3 Things Sampler. I'm thinking Emily stitched this. 3 things there are that will never come back. The arrow shot forth on its destined track. The appointed hour that could not wait. And the helpful word that was spoken too late. Guys, I cannot wait to start this one. But I have so many bits. I've got to get more done on Dutch Beauty first. And the Calling Bird Sampler first, too. Always keep a green tree in your heart so that the singing bird may come. I'm tired of singing birds right now. These are all Mariah Blackburn or traditional samplers. We have a stray cat. I've mentioned the stray cat many times. We also have barn swallows that are scaring away the stray cat. So we are trying to keep the barn swallows from nesting on our porch so that they don't dive bomb the poor cat when he's trying to eat. They've scared him away so far. We're fighting a losing battle. I think they're going to end up nesting, and we're just going to have to deal with it. This one is called The Hour of Prayer, Elizabeth Oliver Sampler. Can't really read this one. The Hour of Prayer. Hail, peaceful hours, supremely blessed amid the hours of earthly care. The hour that yields the spirit rest, that sacred hour, the hour of prayer. And when my hours of prayer are past, oh, may I leave the Sabbath days to find eternity at last, a never-ending hour of praise. This one is the Country House Sampler. Doesn't say anything. It's very muted colors. I'm going to look and see. These are all charted in DMC. I'll look at the colors and see if maybe it's blown out on the picture, or I may change them. This is the Alphabet Sampler. Gosh, you just gave me these. She's like, I'll never stitch them and they look like you. The Beehive Sampler. The Lydia Hopkinson Sampler. This one is a kit. It's got the called for fabric and threads. Clover and Bee Sampler. My camera light turned off. It'll turn back on any minute. It times out if it gets too hot. It says, to make a prairie, it takes a clover and one bee, one clover and a bee, and reverie. The reverie alone will do if bees are few. This one is The Woods. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. No clue. Let's see. It may turn on in a minute. Once it cools off a lot, we'll turn back on. This is, there it is. My camera adjusts. This is the Nobody Loves Me sampler. Nobody loves me, so I'm going down the garden to eat worms. And again, this is a kit. It's got the floss and the fabric. This one is the Wedding Sampler, which obviously is a wedding sampler. I love the way that looks like lace. Come on, focus. The Farmer's Prayer. Let the wealthy and great roll in splendor and state. I envy them not, I declare it. I eat my own lamb, my chickens and ham. I shear my own fleece and wear it. I have lawns, I have bowers, I have fruits, I have flowers. The lark is my morning alarmer, so jolly boys now. Here's Godspeed the plow, long life and success to the farmer. And then the Irish Blessing Sampler. May the road rise to meet your feet, meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Guys, I can't. So many things. She gave me this amazing bag that's actually being used right now. So I can't show you that. It's got all these little compartments in it. And then she also gave me some fabric. This is a piece of 40 count Newcastle by Silk Weavers. This is a small cut. This is a large cut of 32 count by Silk Weavers. This had something on it. I frogged it out for her. And then she was like, well, you can have the fabric. It is this beautiful kind of spring greeny bluish color. Is it showing? Yep, that's it. That's very much so it. See, I'll hold it up to the gray because it does have a touch of gray. It is called Morning Mist. I'll hold up the gray with it. Very, 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 very pretty color. And then she had a bunch of stuff that she had gotten at like an estate sale or something, and I have some Save the Stitches. The two that I'm definitely keeping are this one. I've washed these and hung them to dry. I've not ironed them, but this is a quilt block, and all of these colors are in my house. So I'm going to make my husband frame these and just add it to the wall somewhere, or this one, and add it to the wall somewhere. And the other Save the Stitches that I'm saving is this sampler. It's just an alphabet sampler. Nothing fancy. But I was like, oh, that's so pretty. I have to keep it. These I have no clue what I'm doing with. You may even see some of them as a giveaway eventually. I'm not sure yet. There is the elusive blue goose from the 80s. Guys, with the blue bow. Like, you can't let that had to be saved. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't decorate with geese. Anybody decorate with geese? There is this one. I don't know. It's got the Pledge of Allegiance on it. But it's written funny, like not the way the pledge actually goes. It's kind of like the way a kid would say it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for. I don't know. So I'm wondering if it's not the way somebody in their family said the pledge. So they added it in backstitch to this piece because it's bears raising the flag on the playground. Because I'm thinking this was the piece and then they added the pledge in the way their family said it. That's another one. I don't know what I'll do with that one. And then I have these beautiful quilt blocks that I want to make a quilt, but I've never quilted. So I'm holding on to these for a while to see if I ever get brave enough to make a quilt. It's not cost effective or sentimental enough for me to send a finisher and get somebody to finish it for me. I have a friend's mom who is a quilter who has told me she would teach me how to quilt. I don't think I'll ever be a good quilter. I cannot cut even. I cannot measure even. I cannot sew a straight line. So, I don't know. We'll see. They'll either be made into a quilt or I don't know. I'm just going to hold on to them for a while until I decide what to do. One more. There we go. So those are all the Save the Stitches I have. More Stitchy Kindness. This was from the lovely... Now, Emily gave me more than one of these little floss rings. Some of them are already in projects. This is another one. I've got the one... She made one of my family... and that I have on the thread for Adventure Awaits. It's my profile picture of Scott, Connor, and I. She made me this other dragonfly one. These threads were gifted to me by Ellen, along with Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. This has been in my cart, I don't know how many times, and then I would remove it and put it back on my wish list. And I'd put it in my cart, remove it, and put it back on my wish list. So excited about starting this one. This will be a next year start. Unless I just can't wait anymore and start it this year. She sent me the flosses that 123 Stitch had. So appreciative. So appreciative. This... How about this one? I bought that one. Yes, I bought that one. Another one that I purchased, I think I purchased this when I was, yes, on vacation. This is Sit and Stitch by Little House Needleworks. It's, do they have numbers on there? Nope, Sit and Stitch. By the ocean, on the beach, under stars I cannot reach, in a car and on a plane, also on a railway train. I can stitch most anywhere, but really love my easy chair. I don't know when I'll start it. I saw it, load it, got it. I purchased this one. Emily and I both purchased this one. We will eventually start it at some point. It is a Blackbird design because by all the blackbirds, what remains is love. This is an anniversary piece through 20th anniversary of traditional stitches in Calgary, Canada. 20 years of helping stitchers find the right pattern, linen, and floss. 20 years of sharing your love of stitching with all. Cheers and many congratulations. So we ordered this one from Traditional Stitches. We had it shipped together to save some on shipping. And I had another Stitchy Kindness / birthday gift. This is from Dinah, Making Life Count. Dina. I know 2 Dinas and a Diana, and I just combined their names and called her Dinah. Dina. And she sent this to me completely unexpected. She had made it. We are hoping to get the stitch together soon. I've not seen her since before the pandemic. I've missed so many Stitchy friends since this pandemic. Guys, this bag is amazing. She sent a card saying that she had saw that I was doing a redwork sampler, so she made this bag for it. Look at the inside. Get more focus. It's just kind of pale beige, almost pink, with just some floral on it and white. It's kind of hard to see even in person. So let's see. Maybe if I shade it some. There we go. And also, whoops, one of the, my thread pull came off. One of the other thread keeps that Emily gave me was a red work one. So when I break out my red work by with dye needle, I will put my floss on this with my floss tags and put it in this bag. So those are all going together. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. That way I know where it's at when I break that out next. These are the other floss keeps that Emily made me. This is the When Calling Birds Sing, which is a sow that we've got going with the Sister Wives. And then my Dutch Beauty that I need to add to, and I will eventually make my threads on floss cards for this one. On to the haul. All the haul. You guys ready? I don't think you're ready. I don't think my husband's ready. He may want to turn this off now. Guys, this is 2 months. 2 months worth of haul. Some of it was before then because it got trapped in shipping. So just know that. Guys, we're still going. Okay. To the bottom. Okay, first of all, let me show you this. Like I said, I've jumped on the thread keep bandwagon, and I purchased a punch to make my tags with. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Got this one at Hobby Lobby with a, so this does the tag shape, and then the hole for the floss keep is what I'm calling it. And then this is the one that I actually put the floss through. I'm thinking about getting another small one to put little pieces of floss in once I've cut them off. And then the thing that made it different was the paper cutter. I got a big paper cutter rather than trying to use scissors because that did not work. And I sat down and I went to Hobby Lobby and I got their 4.5 by 6.5 size craft paper. It's just this cardstock. It looks like an oversized index card. And with mistakes, granted. So a lot of these were wasted trying to figure out how to do this. I ended up with 700 floss tags that I made myself. I think I can get about 800-ish. Every card, the way I cut it, I cut them into 1.5 by 2.25 pieces of cardstock and punch the labels through on it. And I think that I can, well, actually, I can do a tutorial if you guys want me to. I cut them into 1.5 by 4.5 pieces, and then I punch each side with this to make the tag. And then I cut it at the 2 1/4 spot in half and then punch with this punch to make these. Like I said, if you want to see a tutorial, let me know. I'll be glad to show you. There are tons of tutorials, but if you want to see how I make mine, I'll show you. To make those. I'm thinking about getting a smaller hole punch and punching a hole kind of on the side over here to where when I've, like, if I have extra or if I just stitch a few stitches, I can attach it there. So, there's a lot of trial and error in this, and I wasted probably a good 5 or 6, 8 sheets of fabric. I got a random lot of fabric on eBay for a really good deal. I think this is actually punch needle fabric. I do not do punch needle, but it was included. Random piece of Aida. This is a piece of stitchable linen. It is different. It's very tight. It's got a lot of slubs. I'm gonna look it over. I think this may be an uneven linen. Some more linen. Just random pieces of fabric. I got this olive green piece. And then I have this natural cotton blend. I don't know what this is. I don't think this is stitchable, but it's okay. I paid less for all of this than I would have paid for this piece of linen alone. And then throw in this. So even if this other stuff is not stitchable, which some of it is, I got a really good deal on it. So the fact that some of it's not stitchable is okay. I got bunnies by Prairie Schooler. Somebody had posted these in Stitching 911 on light blue fabric, and they are so pretty on the light blue fabric. I'm going to eventually stitch these. I was looking at stitching them on 25 count, but they're only 50 by 50, so they'd have been teeny, teeny, tiny. So I may actually stitch them on the called for fabric, which is, I don't know what size. I think they stitch it on 28 count. I may stitch it on 32 count instead. We'll see. I'm going to figure it out. I was in the 25 count over one. 1 2 3 stitch had some fabric on a clearance. These are 2 pieces of Picture This Plus 12 by 17 36 count mellow, very yellow, mellow yellow, very pretty. I can also overdye it if I want to. It is very, very yellow. I did not realize this. I had a piece of mystery fabric that I'm stitching my Good Intentions on, and looking at this, I realized that it is mellow by Picture This Plus. I knew it was a Picture This Plus fabric. I didn't know what color it was. Comparing that, I now realize that it's that. They also had a piece of 32 count Dill Laguna on clearance. I got that. And then on eBay, I found this beautiful, beautiful coloring cotton 36 count patina. Got it off eBay. Guys, loving this color. Loving, loving. It's a turquoisey, greeny, like you would imagine patina to be. Look at that. That is it. That is so, so true to color. So true to color. It's turquoise with a hint of gray to it. Love, love this color. Want to probably have nothing planned to stitch on this. Want to probably get more of this color though. I was also lucky enough to get into the, I was already in the Coloring Cotton Thread of the Month Club. They are these. I'm in the Primitive Club. I got this one. I've got 2 months worth because that's how long it's been since I've done a video. And then these. Loving these colors. I also was one of the first ones that was on the waiting list for her Fabric of the Month. Right before she closed it, I had messaged her. And that's when she was starting to have the problems getting the fabric. And she had said that she thought she was going to close it. She would get back to me. And then she had to close it. And then she messaged me and said she had an opening. So I got to get in on it. I had a gift card that had been burning a hole in my pocket for a year for some of the fabrics. I got my first 2 months. This one is Moonstone. This is 36 count, and I do the fat, the 17 by 26. So the, oh, it's not half, fat quarter. This is Moonstone. It's kind of gray, kind of white. I don't know, but it's beautiful. There we go. Kind of a gray, off-whitey color. It's beautiful. Almost decided to stitch the Quaker Seasons on this one. My second month is Parthenon. Another very neutral, very tan, beautiful color. Her variegation is so subtle. I love it. I blame Kim J Inspired, who removed her videos. I'm so sad. And Vic Gable for this purchase. I've watched them stitch this and loved it and finally decided to get it. This is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. You guys know it. You've seen it. It's where the states' names are in the flag in the order they became states. Which I read somewhere that DC is about to become a state, I think. I don't know what I'll do with that then. And then this is something that I watched at Hobby Lobby and watched at Hobby Lobby until it disappeared, and then it went out of print, and then I found it on eBay for an amazing price, less than I could have gotten it at eBay when it was in print. They also, just for the record, have this as just a chart if you can find it. It's a little bit different when it's not the Busilla kit. Come on, camera focus. There we go. This is the, what is the name of this one? Esther Kopp Sampler. So if you look up Esther Kopp Sampler, you can find the kit, and you can also find just the pattern if you look. I got the kit. It came with linen and the threads. Guys, these thread colors are completely my jam. And it was hard not to start this when I got it. Look at those greens and those turquoises and those blues. Oh, it's so pretty. I resisted the urge. Still resisting the urge. Planning to start it next year. The difference is that on the actual chart itself, this is 1/1 stitching. Emily's wonderful eye caught that. And then the kit is actually back stitch. I've not decided which one I will do yet. I got to see Connie very quickly. She will be vaccinated soon, and we hope to stitch together once she is out of the WordWorks for her vaccination. I'm so excited. She had the silks from, I think, Silk for You, just a grab bag that she had decided to de-stash and give them to me. These will be perfect for my New Beginnings by Abby Lane Designs. And last but not least, just in time for my video to turn off, I got Stitching, Midnight Stitching. It's a Dragonfly sampler. Guys, sorry this video was so long coming. Sorry the video was so long. I will try to be back in a week, and I'm gonna rush the goodbye because I don't want to be cut off by my video. As always, please stay healthy, stay safe, and happy stitching.